Welcome back, mathematicians. In this video, we're going to look at a problem where two people are working together to do a job. So John takes 3 hours to paint a room, but Ava takes 2 hours to paint a room the same size. And how long will it take them to paint a room if they work together? So we're going to fill out this table in order to help us create an equation that can be solved to figure out how long it will take them to paint this room together. So let's start by looking at John and Ava individually. So John takes 3 hours to paint the room. So we're going to put 3 under the hours to do the job. And the part of the job that's done in 1 hour would be 1/3. Now I know that because you're going to take the hours and you're going to put it under one. And so logically that makes sense because John will take 1/3 of the job and do it the first hour, 1/3 to do the second hour, and 1/3 to do the third hour for a total of one, which means 100% of the job is done. Ava, on the other hand, takes 2 hours to do the job, which means she is doing half of the job in 1 hour. So again, half the job in 1 hour, half the job the second hour. So the total hours would be 2 hours to do the complete job. So 1/2 plus 1/2 is 100% of the job. And now we're going to look at how long it will take for them to do the job together. And so it will take t hours for them to do the job together. So now to get there, the rate of them doing the job together, you're going to take 1 divided by t. So think of 1/3, 1/2, and 1t as a rate at which they are doing the job, how fast they're doing the job. And so now let's take that information to create our equation. So John's rate is 1/3, meaning he's getting 1/3 of the job done in 1 hour. And we're going to add to it Ava's rate, which is 1/2, meaning that Ava's getting 1/2 of the job done in 1 hour. And so the combination of those two should equal the rate at which they do it together, which is 1/t. So now that we have our equation, let's go ahead and solve the equation. We're going to start by finding or identifying the common denominator for all denominators. So 3, 2, and t are the denominators, and the common denominator would be 6t. So I'm going to multiply the entire equation by 6t, and keep in mind that that's really 6t over 1. I do that because I want to make sure that we all understand the 6t is going to be multiplied to only the numerator, and by distributing, what we get is 6t over 3 plus 6t over 2 is equal to 6t over t. Now let's reduce each of those fractions. The first term will be reduced by 3, so this will be 2t after we reduce by the common factor of 3. The second term we're going to reduce by the common factor of 2, so this will be 3t. And then the third term, the one on the right side of the equal sign, will be reduced by a common factor of t, so then this will be equal to 6. Let's continue over here to the right to solve the equation. You'll notice that we have some like terms, so we have 2t and 3t, which are like terms, and so 2t plus 3t is 5t. So we have 5t is equal to 6, and now finally we divide both sides by the coefficient of t, which is 5, and we get a final answer of t is equal to 6/5 hours. Now most people will look at that and say, well, how long is 6/5 of an hour? We're not really sure. I know it's above or more than 1 hour, but really how much more? We could rewrite this in terms of decimal, so 1.2 hours. But some of you might want this drilled down even more and say, well, I know that's a more than 1 hour, but how much more? So we can tell you that it's 1 hour, and to get how many minutes, you would take the decimal 0.2 times 60 minutes. Think of it as 20% of 60 minutes, and so what we end up getting is 12 minutes. And so it's 1 hour and 12 minutes. So now you have 3 different versions of the answer. You've got it in fraction form in hours, you've got it in decimal form in hours, and then you have it in hours and also minutes. All right, guys, good luck.